Hello, I'm Jeff Siegel. Welcome to SantaAnita.com. Welcome to our special Monday of racing on Martin Luther King Day. Good 9-race program today. However, got to be up front with you right off the bat. This is not a great gambling card. At least that's how I see it. We're going to try to pick our spots. We'll pass a number of races and try to concentrate on only those races that we think offer value. First race is a 9-furlong first-level allowance event. And in handicapping this race, I came up with a couple of horses, neither of which I really do love. Number 2, Universal Peace. Number 5, Worth Repeating. Both look like they should run well here. Universal Peace maybe would be my top selection. He's a little kind of a one-pace grinder, maybe not really one to trust, but he continues to train well for Neil Drysdale. He's got a good inside post. He should get a good trip, and his best race is good enough to win. So Universal Peace number 2 would be my tentative top selection. Again, not a prime play. Number 5, Worth Repeating, I think has the ability to run well here as well. Not a whole lot of pace in this race. He should be forwardly placed under Talamo, and he's got some races that would make him a very solid contender. So that's how I look at it. 2-5-5-2 in an exacta box with Universal Peace over Worth Repeating. But again, this is not any way, shape, or form a prime play. It's more of an action play. Get there early and try and exact and see what happens. The second race is a pass race. I don't really have a great feel for it, just a 5-horse field. Now, we noticed yesterday that there was a distinct early speed bias. The closers really didn't have much of a shot. So this race could be won by anything in here that can make the running, but I don't see a true front runner. It's going to be kind of a galloper's race, so we'll see how the race shapes up. Now, Setsuko comes out of the Grade 1 Malibu. He looks on paper to be the quote-unquote class of the field, but you know he has no tactical speed. He's kind of a plotter, doesn't have a great turn of foot, and the bias might just do him in. He could win it. He's 9-5 on the morning line. There's no value there. There are others in here that have a chance that could run well on their best day. 8-5 on the number 2 horse, and that is Oil is Black Gold, who's coming off a pretty good effort. Looks like he might be improving. He doesn't really have a whole lot of speed either, so I'm going to pass race number 2. You're on your own on this one. Good luck if you want to play it. Same can be said for the third race, a maiden claiming event. 3-year-old fillies, and the number 2 horse, Good Actress, on paper looks like the best filly, but she's had so many chances. How can you trust her? Number 6, Irene's Jackpot, ran fair in her only start. Had a wide trip. Not the greatest of race she comes out of. Maybe she will improve enough in her second start to win this race. Bunch of firsters in here, a couple of firsters that have trained just so-so. So another race that none of these horses I trust. And so I'm going to pass the race. And again, if you're playing any kind of rolling exotics, use as many as you can afford to use. It's that kind of race. Now, fourth race, I actually like a couple horses in here. That's numbers 3 and 7 on your program. Number 3 is America's Dreaming. Number 7, Beautiful American. I would use them both in any kind of rolling exotics you're going to play, and definitely use them both in an exacta box. Now, America's Dreaming is a non-winner in this country. She was stuck at that first level forever. Now she shows up in a claiming race, continues to train well for Sadler, and back on the grass, and drawn well with Bejarano staying aboard. So I think America's Dreaming will run well. Now, you might say, well, she just doesn't want to win. That's certainly a possibility. I think she'll be in the frame throughout. The one that she has to beat, though, is number 7, Beautiful American. She's back at her claim level. She's pretty much most effective on the front end. The pace scenario looks pretty comfortable for her, going 9 furlongs in the grass. And if she gets in front early, which I think she can, she may never look back. So she's the logical horse, number 7, Beautiful American, at a 5-2 in the morning line. Use her in your exotics with number 3, America's Dreaming. You can box them both in an exacta box if you like, and definitely use them both in any rolling exotic that you might be playing. Fifth race is a Cowbred Sprint. This is a good race to handicap and a good race to gamble, I think. 3 main contenders as I see it. They are numbers 1, 4, and 5 on your program. Number 1 is Warren's Knockout, 4 is Preferred Mandate, and 5 is Jack Reacher. I like them in that order, 1, 4, and 5. Warren's Knockout ran in an impossible spot in his only race, running against the Factor, and he got chewed up chasing that colt. Well, who wouldn't? But he's come back and he's trained well, and he makes it pivotal jockey switch to P-Val. Inside speed, if he breaks running, he just might be able to open up and keep on going. At 9-2, I really do like Warren's Knockout. I think he will run very well. Number 4, Preferred Mandate, was beaten in a maiden 50 over a sealed track in his only start. Didn't run all that badly. He too has come back and trained well. Look for a forward move from Preferred Mandate. And then number 5, Jack Reacher, broke slowly, steadied in the mid-stretch, didn't get the best of runs at all. Come back and train nicely. I think he's better than shown. Use him somewhere in your exotics. That's number 5, Jack Reacher. 1, 4, and 5, preference to the number 1 horse, Warren's Knockout. Pretty good middle price horses to deal with here in our 5th race, Cowbred Sprint. 1, 4, and 5. 6th race is a down-the-hill sprinter starter's allowance race. And number 1, No Stadium, looks like he's sitting on a win, and he may win. He's just such a one-pace grinder. He's a hard horse for me to really trust. He's inside going short. He doesn't have a lot of early speed. He doesn't really blast home. He just kind of keeps to his task. And he may finally have found a field he can beat. 7-2 in the morning line, that's about right. Not a lot of value there. He may even go lower because it's a rather empty field. The Phoenix Invader, number 4, Fantando, he could run with these. He's kind of a fit on numbers. The horses he was running with in Phoenix, though, they're not very good, quite frankly. So I don't know how he's going to fit here. Maybe he'll do all right, but I don't really trust him either. And nobody else I like. I mean, Marcy's Woods looked good 2 runs back, flopped badly last time. Maybe he'll snap back on the grass. Not a good race for me. I'm passing. Spread if you are planning on playing the rolling exotics. The San Pedro Stakes is the 7th race. Now, in looking at this race, another tough race. Number 1, Industry Leader, flunked in his 2-turn try in the Cash Call Futurity. But if you look at his 1-turn races, his sprints, he's okay. He's come back and trained well for Kristen Mulhall. Espinoza takes him out, and he should be somewhere close up, maybe sitting in the 2nd flight. He's 6-1, that's about right for number 1 Industry Leader. I would throw him in. You're looking at some of the other horses. City Cool, number 5. Is a horse that won the Riley Allison Futurity in New Mexico for whatever that's worth. Now, he earned a giant number. You can trust it for Asmussen. Shows up here. Should fit with these horses. So use number 5, City Cool. And number 6, Mr. Artistic MD, is a undefeated colt. He's not particularly fast on numbers, and he's a closer over a track that has been kind of speed, so he might be taking the worst of it. But Rosario stays aboard. He's 5-1 in the morning line. He has trained very nicely here for Kathy Walsh, and he might be able to produce the last run. So I would throw him in number 6, Mr. Artistic MD. So it comes down 1, 5, and 6. I don't really have a preference. Industry Leader, maybe a tad on top, but I would use all 3 in an exacta or trifecta box, and definitely use all 3 in any rolling exotics you might want to be playing. 8th race, there are 3 main contenders here. And you could go 3 deep if you like. Now, there are 2 logical horses. They're number 6, Bourbon Bay, who we know loves this turf course, and he is training like he's ready to roll for Drysdale. Also, number 11, Champ Pegasus. When last seen, he was running very well, 2nd in the Breeders' Cup turf. Now, he's stuck way outside in the 11 hole, going 1.25 miles on turf. Going to take the worst of that dog leg coming down, crossing the main track. He's going to have to get over and save some ground. Not the place to be if you're taking a short price, but I respect him, and he's obviously training well. And Sebastian Flight, who was going to run here opening day, was scratched in an off-the-turfer, but since then he's trained extremely well for his first start as he tackles older company for Ben Cecil. He will get the 1.25 miles, and he's a nice colt. He'll be running on late. Don't underestimate number 10, Sebastian Flight. So 6, 10, and 11 if you're playing an exacta or trifecta box. I prefer number 6, Bourbon Bay. I think because I know he loves this turf course, and because he's training really well, I think he's ready to get back into the swing of things. But Sebastian Flight and Champ Pegasus could easily win as well. 6, 10, and 11 in your exacta or trifecta box. 9th and final is a claiming race, 12-5, now 1 is a 2. The favorite here is number 9, Syllabus. Now on speed figure, Syllabus would almost have to fall down to lose this race. But here's the problem. Syllabus is eligible to a starter allowance, now 1 is a 2 Cowbred. There's a race earlier today that he could have run in, and they could have protected him. Instead, he's running for 12-5 off the layoff. That, to me, is a very, very bad sign. It almost indicates that they are desperately trying to lose this horse. Does he have one more race left in him? Yeah, maybe, and if he does, he'll probably win. But he's also 8-5 in the morning line. So now you're betting on condition and health more than you are ability. I don't want any part of this race. Let Syllabus win. Let him win at even money. Fine. But there's too much suspicion for me to think that maybe he's all there, and that's enough for me to stay clear of the 9th and final. And I will stay clear of that. I'll stay clear of the racetrack for the next few days after that. We'll be back on Thursday when racing resumes at Santa Anita, so we'll talk to you then. Best of luck today at Santa Anita.